10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 15 of the WTH Breakout. I am your host, Tommy. I'm here with Wilson, who is semi-quarantined right now up in the hills. Wilson, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. Just woke up. We'll see how this goes.
I actually had to wake you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't sound too happy when I woke you up.
He said, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yeah, almost."
It was one of those, hello? Hey, are you ready? Yeah. I was like, you were still asleep. But that's fine, though, because
I did set an alarm. I just shut it off when it went off.
I'm like your wake-up call. I'm your front desk concierge. You know, that's what I am to you now.
Yeah.
I've demoted myself. Is there still snow up there?
Maybe a little bit, but it's been like 65, 70 degrees. So,
Dude, it was like actually, sorry, this is going to be unprofessional. I got to move my mic cable.
oh, great.
Or else I'll be kicking it the whole time. Dude, it was actually hot yesterday.
Yeah. There was a little warning on the weather app that I have on my phone that said, "Stay away from rivers and streams because they could flood because of the snow melt."
Oh, I thought it was like stay away from them because you're not allowed to be out there.
Oh no. We've gotten word that DeAugustini is not going to be closing down the fishing season.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I guess he's the one that would be in charge of making that decision.
You think that would be coming from like more state parks or forestry people?
They work through Fish and Game, but it's essentially up to the county officials if they want to have it closed.
Okay. Yeah. I learned something new like every day with everything that's been going on as far as like which agencies have authority over different areas. It's kind of crazy because I'll go because I live in, Sacramento County, but I work in 3 different counties, and each county has different regulations as far as like wearing masks and stuff. And like my Yolo County right now just announced that you need to wear a mask in every store, but Sacramento County doesn't have that yet, at least at the time of the recording.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I go to Yolo and I'm wearing my mask, but no one else is wearing them, even though they're supposed to. But then you go to Solano and it's the same thing where people are, it's just all different, because each county can make their own rules, which I think kind of should be allowed, because there's some counties like if you have like a county, like a super, super small county, I don't know why that county has to literally shut everything down when they have like little to no, population there. So I have no idea where Wilson's going right now. He like just ran away. I'm like talking to myself. He had to go shut off a light. Now he's sitting down or moving a cat or something. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, you're back. Welcome.
I don't have cats.
Hey, but I do. She just hopped up here. There she is, making her debut. Sophie the Wonder Kitty. Sophie, say hi. Does she look happy?
Talk. No, she looks very ugly.
If she was to say something, this is what she would say.
It's turbo time.
All right, you need to get down. That's the wonders of recording at your house, is you have the wildlife running around freely and
the local wildlife
causing ruckuses. I'm going to move my camera slightly this way, just in case someone walks down the hall and they're not clothed all the way.
Whoa, another joy of recording at home.
That usually will be me,
I'm trying to fix this lighting situation here. It's very bright in here for some reason.
I think you're fine. And you hear my cat in the background. She's like scratching on the dishwasher because she wants food, and I just fed her.
Oh.
This is fun. We can't edit any of this out. So, anyways, have you been? It's been like kind of a crazy week for you and I. Like, we haven't really talked a whole lot during this week. It's like been like the first week we haven't talked a whole lot.
I know it's been busy, but I guess good. I think we're coming up to the tail end of this whole virus thing, though. So
That's what I keep hearing.
like I heard Georgia started opening stuff up again, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it was
We do have Newsom, so
yeah,
he's gonna try and hang on to control for as long as he can. So
yeah, we'll get to that later. Yeah, I think like Georgia opened up like what is it? Bowling alleys, restaurants and stuff like that, but they're still doing the social distancing thing, but they're also not opening like entertainment venues, so no concerts, which I think is good because, dude, if you're gonna pass anything around, that's gonna be at a concert. And I think movie theaters as well. But then again, movie theaters with assigned seating, you could always still just assign every other seat, if that's how they want to do it. But maybe they just don't think that people are actually going to do that, because I know if my wife and I were to go see a movie, I'm not going to be sitting a seat away from her because we live in the same house.
yeah.
So maybe that's just too much of a hassle. I don't know. So, but yeah, we have a fun-filled show today. We got lots of news stories.
Yeah, I forgot half of them, so you'll have to remind.
Oh man,
Sorry, remind me.
I even tasked you to find some of your own.
I did find some of my own.
Okay, cool. Whoa.
I sent you some of those.
Wow, he's back.
Yeah. I
Send me
did.
some of
I
them.
did good this time. Yeah.
I don't even remember what they were. I don't think I
Uh-oh.
got the email.
No, I sent them to you in text.
Well, I probably didn't get them in text either. So, but anyways, we're gonna start off today with our world famous segment. It is known as our
Beers and Cheers.
Shots fired.
It does sound like a gunshot. I gotta change that. It's so much better when we're in the studio when we could do it live. We should do that, dude. We should just like do beers and cheers and then just do a desk pop. Just fire a gun right in the air. Beers and cheers. Pow. Or it could be like, this is how it should be. It should be like
Beers and Cheers.
we should do it like that. So what do you have that is delicious and refreshing, Wilson?
Right now?
Well, no, the beer segment, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm
Hey,
drinking.
we're
I'm
kind of recording
one
a
of-
show here.
I'm drinking one of those waters right now.
Which one?
The Boobly.
Oh, I'm drinking the Aha.
I have grown to like the sparkly water.
It's not that bad, actually, after you taste it for a
Not.
while.
Yeah. But today, I went to Claimstake Brewing the other day. This is probably a week ago now. But they had a special beer that they brew every year, and it has to do with the 420 date.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah. Well, 420 is a holiday in the marijuana smoking community. So, and a lot of people say that hoppy beer kind of smells like weed, which it does.
It does.
Yeah. So they made this one called Sticky Nicky, and it is a Dank IPA. 7.2%. And I think that's all the info I got on here. But I like IPAs a lot. And my favorite type of IPA is like the hoppier, the earthier, the better.
Sorry,
And
my cat's like up here about ready to keep going. you're doing good, kid. You're doing real good.
But I like IPAs that are like the hoppier the better. And this one is definitely, Tommy, if you tried it, it would come out. This is filled with grass, dirt, and love, or whatever you said. Like it is earthy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's one of the best IPAs I've had so far. I'm gonna give it as high as we can go without being perfect.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be a 4.75.
Wow, that's pretty good right there, actually.
Yeah. I actually tried it with Scott from Thin Line, and I think he feels the same way as I do. We both like IPAs that are that style, and I know he said he really enjoyed that. So,
why don't you guys just go follow landscapers behind and like just chew up their grass clippings? I mean, that's the same thing, really.
yeah, that's actually a new beer that he's going to come out with in a little while. It's going to be the grass clipping IPA.
The Landscaper Delight.
Yeah.
Have they ever? I mean, I'm sure they have because stoners are crazy. But have they ever made like a pot infused water? Or sorry, beer?
Oh, I don't know. Probably
like
something out there.
Like a bong water type thing or something. I don't know. Ooh, disgusting.
Yeah.
4.75. That's pretty good though.
It was delicious. One of the best IPAs I've had.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's Claimstake, and they're Rancho Cordova, right? Small business.
They're I don't know, probably about a mile away from Thin Line.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Yeah.
I still haven't. I'm actually gonna be going to Thin Line later today. Pick up my.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The shirts came in.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I did not get an email.
I think the post said that the emails are going out. I saw a what do you call it? It's a thing on Facebook that came out.
Oh.
And so I was just like, cool. I'm gonna go pick it up and say hi. I'm actually gonna get some chips and salsa while I'm there because I have no chips and salsa in the homestead, and I can't leave that place without having the Crazy Gringo. That stuff was good.
Yeah.
I hope they have.
He's actually Crazy Gringo has done a couple of collabs with breweries on beers so far. I think he's done 2. One at Miraz and one at another place.
Now you've actually been to Thin Line. Do they still have all that there? Even though they're like closed to like normal business, do they still have like the chips and salsa?
Yeah, it's sitting there. I know they don't have too much of it, but yeah, well, you'll find out.
And I'm drinking one of my favorite drinks now, my AHA sparkling water with caffeine. It is citrus and green tea. This thing is delicious.
You don't like the bubbly?
I have not found a bubbly flavor that I actually like yet. Which one's that? The mango?
Yeah.
Last one I tried was the cranberry. Wasn't too bad. The cherry one tastes like Robitussin.
I figured that a lot of cherry flavored things taste like cough syrup. So
it was horrible. And of course, there's me. I buy the entire, 12. I think these come like an 8-pack or whatever. And I'm like, well, I gotta finish it at some point. I'm not gonna let it go to waste, which sucks because I have 2 of my yerba mates in the fridge that I haven't drank because I can't drink them anymore. I'm like, I don't want them to go to waste.
Dreadlocks are bad for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about actually taking them and like diluting them with water. That way it's not, it's like half the sugar, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So today we have an extra special cheers. And I'm just going to do a little bit of reading, and she's going to kill us for this probably. I wish I had like a drum roll or something for it. But we've mentioned her many, many times on the show. And so our cheers today goes out to Corey at Thin Line Brewing. She celebrated her, I believe it was like her 21st birthday, I think, a few weeks ago. But it says right here, it says, here we go. Last week, Corey, the owner of Thin Line Brewing Company in Rancho Cordova, celebrated her birthday by helping someone else celebrate his. Corey was not feeling very excited about her birthday this year. I feel you. I feel you, Corey. Me neither. Quarantine birthdays suck. And so it says, until she received a letter or a message from a customer. A customer who is from San Luis Obispo shared that it was also her brother Jason's birthday. Jason is a teacher here and has been taking care of his nephews and niece for his brother and sister-in-law, who are a firefighter and emergency room nurse, respectively, in San Diego. When this customer asked if Corey would make a special delivery to Jason, she was more than excited to surprise him. And it says right here that Corey has said she was more than happy, more excited to like just jump on it and surprising Jason. It just kind of shows you, we've mentioned this many times, small businesses. And there's a reason why we always talk about Thin Line Brewing, because it's not just us that see these things about Scott and Corey. They go out of their way. I mean, that's, totally selfless, is, doing something for someone else on your own birthday, which is cool. I think that's awesome. I respect that. So that's why we support Thin Line Brewing, is because they do things like that. And I just think it's amazing. I think it's cool.
Definitely.
I mean, I know that there's times where I'm not gonna lie, I'm a pretty selfish dude. But there's times where, once you do something for someone else and you're like, man, I wish I could do that more often. I should do that more often, but then you fall in that spot. But it's a good modeling to fall after, especially what's funny about this is it's a small business in the quarantine right now, and they're still going out and doing things for people, which I think is cool.
Yep.
So with that, we're going to give the cheers. We're going to do the virtual cheers into the camera, dink, and then we're going to take a little sippy sip. There we go. Now Corey's going to be all mad that we did that. She's being embarrassed. I know she's smiling right now. Stop smiling, Corey. So what do we got today, Wilson? We got a lot of stuff.
We got a laundry list today.
Do you want to start with something funny?
Sure.
All right. So I'm just going to paraphrase this, because I'm sure a lot of people have already heard this story. We're basically, getting caught up on a lot of our backlog news stories that we found interesting. But ever since the COVID-19 or the Kung flu or the communist, cold, you ever want to call it, came about, people started making masks. I said on the last show, I made some masks for myself and and everything. But this one lady, she made a special mask out of a certain material that had a special print on it. And it says right here that it says it's kind of it's so funny. Basically, when she wears this mask and people go up to her, and they see what's printed on it, she knows that they're too close. And it is a like a cartoon print of a bunch of little penises. And people are like, do you know what's on your face mask? She goes, you're too close. That is brilliant. That's so funny.
It is pretty funny.
However, I don't think I could get away wearing that, because I'm actually at work. I mean, I'd totally do that, like if I'm out grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's funny. It's a good way to get creative when it's not fun right now.
Yeah. So, but that's one of the first things that came about. I was trying to like find some funny things as well, because a lot of it's doom and gloom. So, what do you got, dude?
Oh, I have a good story that I don't know if you wanted to talk about or not, but it's worth mentioning.
Let's do it.
What was it? Day before yesterday, Judge Benitez. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is everything to do with ammo?
Yes.
Yeah, talk about it, because that was going to be on my list, but I want to talk about it for sure.
So Judge Benitez, he's the same judge who last year did what was called Freedom Week in California, where the extended magazine, or the 10-round magazine law was, he ruled it unconstitutional. So for about a week, actually I think it was more like a weekend, Californians were able to buy magazines that were over 10 rounds, and you can still have them now. You can have them in your house and everything, and
as long as they're bought within that time, right?
Exactly. Because it was about 3 days later, 4 days later, something like that they put a stay on it. So it was a fun couple of days. Now Judge Benitez has ruled the law that was passed. I think it was Proposition like 63 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it was a proposition that was apparently voted on. I definitely did not vote for this, but now in California, there is a law that says you have to have a background check to be able to buy ammo, and you cannot buy ammo online anymore. And there's some other stuff that goes along with it, but it's stupid. They make you get a background check run every time you go to buy ammo.
That is dumb.
And Judge Benitez, I don't know if it was him that said this or if it was one of the people that was arguing the case, said the terrorists, the bad guys, the gangsters, they don't have their backgrounds checked to get ammo.
Right.
He's like, this is the law-abiding citizens. This is unconstitutional. So now we have Freedom Week ammo edition is what people are calling it. And we can buy ammo without getting a background check. And we can also buy ammo online again and have it shipped to our door. Yes.
Victory.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I saw that article and I was like, I wonder if Wilson saw this. And I'm like, he's got to have seen this. I'm going to let him bring it up. Yeah, that's cool. Even though I really don't need any ammo. I'm pretty stocked up on my, weaponry. But it is stupid. Because one thing is I didn't know you could buy ammo online. I'm not a huge firearm guy. I don't go out shooting a whole lot. The only time I really ever shot was those times that we went and then we went and requalled.
Yeah.
For our last job. I gotta sneeze so bad.
There's a mute button.
I'm not gonna do it. We're just gonna edit out. There we go.
Great. Throw a little clap in there. I helped you out.
Man, them jokers was big.
Thanks, Chantel. But I didn't know you could buy ammo online because you do have to be a certain age to buy ammo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So just like with beer, you can't buy it online because you could be a 17-year-old kid or even a 20-year-old kid ordering online.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know that you could do that. But I mean, man, in especially right now, dude, like when they're releasing inmates nonstop and saying stuff like, oh, it's the low level offenders, nonviolent. Look it up, people. Look what they're considering nonviolent right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that what was it? What drive-by shootings are nonviolent?
Yes.
Even wasn't it domestic violence nonviolent?
Or like date rape is nonviolent.
I'm sorry, but like if you're a female and you live at home by yourself and something happens at home, or you need to protect yourself, and they're like, you have no way of doing it now because this dude breaks into your house. They're literally trying to take everything away. And what's cool is I've seen some police agencies across the U.S. Basically saying stuff. I mean, most of them. I mean, I know like the surrounding counties that we live in have they've had to follow that law of, releasing some of the inmates. I mean, they have to do it. But the police are also telling everybody, protect yourself. Like, they're warning everybody.
Except for LA County, the sheriff there.
Yeah.
He's a piece of work.
Yeah, he's anything in LA, really, except my family and friends that live there.
Yeah.
But Eric Garcetti, their mayor, is a moron. Their sheriff's a moron. That's the funny thing. I got into it the other day with someone. I forget what it was about, but they were like saying it was something about what was it, Trump or whatever. No, I was talking to you. Like, just because, if it could even be Obama, just because it's someone I voted for or didn't vote for, doesn't mean I agree with them 100% across the board. Just because you're in law enforcement does not mean I agree with you 100%. And their sheriff down there, he's a piece of work. Do you want to explain to the people about him?
Well, I mean, he released a lot of inmates, that's for sure. Because of this whole thing. I think it was over 4,000 inmates in the county. And then just after that, he decided that gun shops were non-essential.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody can go out and buy a gun there because all the shops are closed down. So you have a lot of criminals back on the streets now, and a lot of people cannot go out and buy a gun to protect themselves if something were to happen.
Right. And it just it goes to show you that we have, like, amendments and stuff set in place for times like this. And when you start seeing your rights start getting stripped away little by little, it's because you're allowing it. Now, I'm not saying go out and like start like rioting and stuff like that, because I'm not for that. I'm for peaceful protesting. But it's going to get to a point where it's going to get really, really, really bad. We had some demonstrations down here at the Capitol. I think it was last week, or this week, depending on when you're listening to this. And it was actually at the Capitol, and then shortly thereafter, I'm talking like a few days later, the California Highway Patrol, who is the police agency that covers the state capitol grounds and everything, they've declined and refused any petitions or what's the word I'm looking for? Requests to protest. Because you guess if you want to protest on state capitol grounds, you need to have like a permit or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, you're not going to do it. I'm like, oh, so now we don't have a right to protest. And I get it. I see both sides of it. Yeah, we're supposed to be like not gathering in crowds right now. I get that. But at the same time, this is getting a little crazy here in California when you're going to say things like, hey, you can't go surf in an ocean by yourself. We're going to arrest you. But hey, having 400 people in a Walmart's okay.
Yeah.
That one dude in the ocean is not doing anything wrong. He was by himself.
Yeah. I don't get them closing down like the outdoor activity type stuff. I did hear like state parks are all closed down for the most part. You can still get into them, and they just like closed all the like parking lots and stuff. Like they made it very hard to go there.
Not convenient, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be the word.
But I was talking to Ryan from MSR the other day, and
MSRarms.com. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Shameless plug there.
Yeah. Nothing shameless about MSR Arms.
But we were trying to find a place to go turkey hunting, because in California, I mean, you got to find public land, and it's kind of hard. But
just go to the
Auburn,
store like I do.
Yeah, that's not. You know what? Someday you have to become a man, Tommy.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. But Auburn State Recreation Area, it has an area where you can hunt, and they allow you to hunt turkey and a few other things. So we were looking at that, and he's like, yeah, they closed that down too. And I was like, well, that's dumb. Can we still like get out there? But it's very hard to get to the spot where the hunting is allowed. But he did tell me he went out there like the week prior before it got like closed down and stuff. And he said it was packed out there, like on the trail, since everybody was quarantined. Everyone had the same idea, just go out and like hike and stuff. And he was like, it was, he was seeing people like the entire time he was walking, and they're going by on the trail. So he said it was pretty crowded, like out there. But I mean, some places, like you said, surfing in the middle of the ocean or on the shore of the ocean, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not going to do anything.
Well, and especially, you know, like we could look at like hiking. Usually when people hike, they hike with maybe a group of people, but you're not like right next to each other when you're hiking. One, it's almost impossible to do because hiking trails aren't that wide. And then you have like golf courses. Why are you shutting those down? Like,
Yeah.
golfers aren't near each other. I mean, the closest they're near each other is when they're in the cart. And if they wear masks, it's no freaking different than if they're at a Walmart.
Yeah.
And right now at
But
like
Walmart has food, so that's essential. So they have to let people in.
you know, so is people's sanity at the same time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying we need to open everything back up. There's certain things that should still stay shut down, like I said earlier. Movie theaters, which I have a feeling after this whole thing down, movie theaters might be not obsolete, but kind of I think they might be the hardest thing to get back up and running again, because a lot of like Universal, Paramount, all those companies are starting to just like release their movies straight to the house.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see like if like how well they did doing that, like how good the response was if people were actually like buying it. Because I mean, those movies are still, you're spending like $19 or something like that to watch it.
Right.
But you think about it, that's like a movie ticket some places. So.
Right. Like at a IMAX, or even the movie theater that kind of up near the cave a little bit, where it has like the deluxe seating.
Yeah.
You know, I'd spend a few extra bucks there, but like concert venues and stuff like that, I think are the things that are going to kind of prevail through that whole thing, because there's nothing better than live music.
Yeah.
I've been watching nonstop baseball on YouTube and concert videos on YouTube. And both those things, I'm like, man, it's so much better when you're there. But those are the things that are going to struggle. But I think music will eventually get back to where it's at. But I think movie theaters might have a little bit more of a hit with that. But there should be no reason why certain activities are banned. Now, I can understand, like, there was a lady, I don't know what state this was in. It was they said it was a play date. It was not a play date. It was more or less like a protest at a playground, from what I read, and using their kids as basically pawns to start something because they wanted their kids to play on the playground. And this cop shows up and he's like, you guys can't be playing here. And you could tell that this cop's like, this is ridiculous. I get it, but you know, you're not supposed to be playing on the playground. And then this one lady just starts like jumping in, like, oh, what are you gonna do, huh? Like this, like, you know, what are you trying to say? Are you detaining me? Or are you arresting me? I'm like, whoa, calm down. You know, I think some parks should stay open, but playgrounds where you're touching things, that is where we should just keep those places clear for right now, until we figure this out. And also, from what I heard that this virus dies in the heat or in the sun, which, you know, it's starting to get warm. Like yesterday was like, I was actually sweating yesterday. It was really hot. But on that same note, I'm definitely not okay with county employees and county officials given the okay to backfill skate parks with sand.
Oh yeah. That's I mean, most of them have fences around them anyways?
I know the one in Citrus Heights has a fence, but you could hop it. The thing is, it's another sport, just like golf. You'll never see two skateboarders right next to each other because it's dangerous. They're within feet apart and they're staying there. And you know what? They're not hurting anything. They're outside just doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
And
this is almost like encouraging kids to stay inside and watch TV and play video games and
right.
stuff instead of getting outside being active.
And I've never had an issue with skateboarding in general. I know the only thing I had an issue with was if I'd be walking downtown and they would just go like right by me super fast and like do a trick and like their skateboard would almost hit me. Like just be a little bit more courteous in that, as long as, and then if they're tearing up private property, which some of them do, but if they're just skating, I mean, man, it's not that big of a deal to me. But
Hey,
yeah,
skateboarding is not a crime.
skateboarding is not a crime. Remember that video game Rad? What was it called? Rad?
Rad.
The,
I
there
don't
was
know.
it was a horrible game. But then of course the best one was Tony Hawk.
Oh
They
yeah,
gotta remake Tony Hawk for PS4, dude.
I think they did.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to find that. Um, but like when they backfilled that skate park, I'm like, okay, one, you just pissed off a lot of people by doing that. And the even funnier thing about that is, did you hear what happened to the skate park a few days later?
No.
Well, a skate park was filled with sand, right? So motocross kids came out there and turned it into a little motocross track. I'm like, perfect. Like it is one of those things that's you want us to stay sane, so let us go outside. And then it's kind of like that. There was that. Her name's Adley. I think she was on America's Got Talent or something like that. But she did like this funny video that went viral where she's supposed to act like a press conference lady, and she's like, we're recommending everybody stay inside unless you don't have to. We're telling everybody that you cannot go to stores unless you need to. All essential businesses need to close unless you consider yourself essential. It's basically it's almost like they're walking that fine line of like, um, you know, it's almost like they're getting off on the power of, um, we got you just by a little bit right now. We're just going to keep stringing you along. And I'm talking about the government right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Gavin Newsom's out here every day with his press conferences, and that dude loves to hear himself talk and loves to see his face on TV. He just loves it. And he's doing this, the stimulus package that went out to all of us, from the federal government. Well, he like took some, not took some of it, but like set some money aside for illegal immigrants. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so my thing is, and this might get some people mad, but most of the people I believe are on my side on this. So if you made over 75 grand to 100 grand, you didn't get that stimulus package. If you're a working and American and you pay taxes because you fall in a certain tax bracket, you don't get it. Or if you live in San Francisco or a rich area where cost of living is higher, you probably make more, but it's all relative to like me right now. So you don't get that stimulus package. But if you're an illegal alien not contributing anything to our economy, you're going to get it. So at that same time, you basically just said illegal aliens are more valuable to you than tax-paying citizens. And so therefore, I now know where you get most of your votes. And
Yeah.
why? Because I still have not found one person who voted for Newsom.
Yeah. And the whole thing about it, he was like, oh, we have private people that are giving us the money for that. And I think it's $150 million that he's giving away to illegal immigrants. And it's only like 25 million of it is from the private people. 125 million is money that apparently he just found and said, this is available, so we're going to give it to him.
Yeah. So man, I read it yesterday, and I want to get the right article. I'll just go off memory then. So on that same note, the old Arco Arena, probably one of the worst arenas in sports. And music history. I kind of work in that.
We saw some good concerts there.
We did see some good concerts there.
Yeah.
Not the best sounding, not to the fault of the musicians, but just to the aesthetics of the arena. But I've been driving for the past month. I've been driving by it, and I've seen like a lot more cars out in front of it. I'm parked in the parking lot. I'm like, why? What's going on here? Is this like overflow from the hospitals? Like, is this like where they've been having all the nurses park and they shuttle them in because, emergency rooms are overflowed with people?
Yeah.
No, that's not it, because that's not happening. From what I've heard, that's not happening. And then an article comes out that says that they're going to turn Arco into a makeshift field hospital for COVID-19 patients. I'm like, okay, so it's basically like our own little, like that ship.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, that's a smart thing to do. And then I think like a month before, Newsom had a press conference saying we want to thank, what's the King's owner name? Ranadive or whatever. He's like, we want to thank him for loaning us Arco for this. Actually, how Newsom says it, he goes, we want to thank Ranadive. The dude needs a clear throat. But he goes, we want to thank him for loaning us Arco Arena for the field hospital, which doesn't have any patients yet, mind you. And then the article came out yesterday. It's costing, what was it? Sacramento County taxpayers, was it $500,000 a month to do that?
That's a lot of money.
And they're seeing 0 patients.
Yeah.
So that's what's frustrating me. At the same time, you have small businesses that applied for that small business loan or stimulus for the small businesses that didn't receive it. But you had businesses like Ruth's Chris and Shake Shack that did. However, Shake Shack returned their money and said, I don't know if they said we don't want it. It might have been under some sort of people were upset, and so they got a lot of heat for it, so they returned it. I don't know what it is, but come to find out, the banks themselves said, well, if we give the loans to like the bigger businesses, they can get more fees and we can make more money.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, small businesses are dying right now.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, I mean, Nelly said it the best, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, and that's why like we plug Thin Line Brewing, Claimstake. That's why we do those things with the beers and cheers. We want to plug the not so popular things and make it and bring it to the forefront. And granted, we don't have the biggest listening base, but if we get a few people to hear it, they're like, oh yeah, that's just one more person that could go there and become a patron of that establishment and help them out.
Then they talk to somebody about it and they end up going. It's kind of like the virus.
Think of it as a positive COVID-19.
Yeah.
But I hear stuff like that on how the money is being spent, and it's frustrating me. And the only good thing about it is it's exposing a lot of their mishandlings of stuff. And I'm not sitting here saying Republicans are better. Don't get me wrong. Any politician is going to look out for themselves, but it's more on the nose and more just right in your face right now about what they're really going after. If someone says, like for instance, Wilson, if you're needing money and like you're like, hey man, I need like $100 or I'm gonna get kicked out of my house, I'll be like, yeah man, here's $100, I could loan you, that's no problem, but you need to do this for me. And with that, you also need to do this and this and this. That's essentially what like Pelosi's doing with it. She's holding up these packages that are going to be helping these small businesses, but she's attaching like things that have nothing to do with it. We need this much money to go to the Kennedy Center, this much money to go to Planned Parenthood, this much money to go here. People are, as they're saying, people are dying. That money should go there first, and that's true greed right there.
Yeah.
And that's just frustrating for me. Do you have another one, or do you want me to go?
You can go. I'm pretty sure some of these are ones that I gave you ideas on, so I just didn't write them down.
I don't know if there's one that I'll call you out on it. If you're you said you give me an idea for it, I'll call you out on it because that was my idea. If you do the story that I'm thinking you're gonna do.
Oh, I don't remember what it was. We talked though. We talked a little bit.
We did talk. It was Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we were talking about concerts a second ago, and one of the things that's like kind of up in the air right now is concerts that have already happened or not happened, been planned, like tours that have been scheduled, and people who bought tickets for those concerts. And they're like, well, do we get our money back? Well, tickets have their policies and their refund guidelines and everything. Well, Ticketmaster is basically in this hurdle right now where people are saying we want our money back because the tours have been canceled, and they're like, no, the tours haven't been canceled, they've been postponed, therefore we don't refund postponed concerts, only canceled concerts. And even in that case, they're having a hard time giving their money back because Ticketmaster is more or less a how would I say it? They're like a middleman kind of a thing. Like you give them the money, but that money that they get, that now goes to like the band and like the promoters and the venues and everything. So to recoup the money for the customer, they now need to go back to the band, the venue, all that, and get that money back so they can pay the customer. So it's kind of a crapshoot right now that they're in. I see it from both sides. Like Ticketmaster's like, yeah, our hands are tied. Ticketmaster has, however, though, kind of been a thorn in the side for a lot of bands and even concert goers for a long time with their surcharges. So I'm like, oh, cool, those tickets are only $40 for a concert. Why am I spending $80? Oh, because there's service fees, handling fees, this fee. Well, what service fee is there? I mean, in today's world, I enter my card information and hit a button and it shoots me like a QR code on my phone. It's all done electronically. What is the service fee?
And you can't forget the convenience fee for being able to do that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, it makes no sense. And so Ticketmaster, it just basically says they're not giving it was in the loudwire.com, which is a page I follow, mainly heavy metal news and stuff. But Ticketmaster said they're not going to give any refunds for postponed concerts. So your concerts could get postponed for, they're saying right now concerts, at least in California, not till fall of 2021.
Wow.
So these people's money and concert, I mean, let's just hypothetically say you paid tickets for Metallica, which could go anywhere from like I think it was like $95 for the worst seat to like $1,200 for the best seat. You now have $1,200 tied up in a concert that you may not go to for another year and a half.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. That money could go elsewhere, especially right now if people lost their job or something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I'm kind of happy I didn't buy my tickets. I was supposed to go to a concert in August. I was gonna buy my tickets, but for some reason I held off on doing it, and then everything got shut down. I'm like, oh man, it's a good thing because I think those were bought through not Ticketmaster, but I think Live Nation, and I don't know if they're having the same issue or not, but it's frustrating. I mean, more frustrating for the people that have their money tied up. I mean, I'd be so mad if I spent that much money on a concert and it's it doesn't even, the concert doesn't even happen for another year. It's kind of like when the people paid all that money to go see Kanye in Sacramento years ago, and he came out for like one song and left.
Yeah.
And people are like, do we get our money back? Because we didn't come here for the opener. We came here for Kanye. And all of a sudden, I think they did refund their money, but I don't know. They're kind of shady if you ask me.
One thing I want to talk about, I don't know if we discussed this or not, but there was recently a shooting in Sacramento that involves Sac PD. I forget where it was at. Do you remember where?
It was in the
I thought it
Elk
was an
Grove.
area.
It was in the
Oh,
Elk
it
Grove
was Elk Grove.
area at a Foods Co.
That I remembered it was a grocery store, and I thought maybe it was a place around where you went, but
That
you don't
video.
go that area. I know. If you guys don't know, there's a lot of like YouTubers out there now that do like video breakdowns, like police video breakdowns. And there's one guy, his name is Donut Operator. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I've heard of him, and he was also on the It's Needed podcast.
Yeah. So he did a breakdown on that shooting, and it's only like 8 minutes long. So if you have a chance, you should go look at it. He gives you a very good idea, and he's pretty funny too. So it's not like a super intense breakdown or anything like that.
And he's a former cop and military, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was in like the Navy or something like that, and then he was a cop for a while, and he decided he wanted to do YouTube full time.
Mm-hmm.
But that video is intense. I mean, it starts off, you think, oh, here goes a pursuit, and it lasts about 2 seconds, and the guy stops, and there's 2 police cars behind him, and he jumps out and just starts shooting. And the police cars, they pulled up next to each other. The one on the right had 2 officers in it, and the officer in the passenger seat jumped out with an AR and started shooting. And then the officer that was driving didn't have a chance to get out, and he just shot through his windshield at the guy. The police officer that pulled up in the left car, he jumps out, and that guy empties his entire magazine the fastest I've ever seen before. It was like 2 seconds, and it was done, and he had to reload another. And the whole time this is going on, right next to the left car, the police car that pulled up, is a parked car with 2 civilians in it.
An SUV.
And
so it was
an SUV.
Vehicle.
And they, in the initial firefight, the back window blows out on it, and the cop runs up and gets behind it, and he starts hitting on the car and tell him, hey, get out, come out, so they don't get hurt. So they end up getting out safely. And the guy had fallen down in the middle of the parking lot, so they thought that it was done. They start to move in, and the guy prones out on the ground and starts shooting again at them. So they end up shooting back. It was an intense video, and the Donut Operator did a very good breakdown on it, I think. So if you guys are interested in that type of thing, I would highly suggest watching that.
In that video, the thing that what I like doing with those videos is kind of crazy. I mean, I don't want to say I like doing it, but I'll watch it one time through, then I'll rewatch it. And if you just watch like right before it, you just think in your head, this cop has no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And how calm he is. And the cop was actually pretty calm the whole time. I mean, he was yelling his commands, which you're supposed to do, but you can still be calm and do that. But when the guy just like took off in the parking lot, and he slammed on his brakes, and right when he hopped out, I mean, it's like he made a decision at that moment. I'm gonna kill these cops, is what he said. And he got out and started firing, and it literally, the cops went from 0 to 100 in a blink of an eye. And also, what I took away from that video is how also quick that the other cop went to that SUV to get people out. And then the one, you hear the lady on one of their badge cams, you can hear her say, where did he go? He goes, go behind my car. And that was the driver. The passenger, who looked like he was he was a heavier fella and may have had some mobility issues with his legs. He wasn't shot, I don't think, but he was slow moving. And in order for him to get out, he had to get out of the passenger side, which puts him automatically in between the shooter and the cops.
Yeah.
And then now go around the back. And I'm like, oh, how frightening is that? Apparently that dude lived, the shooter. But he was turned into a human sprinkler, but he was definitely alive. And on the video, as they're walking up, he's like, just kill me. But he was a scumbag anyway. He was a homicide suspect.
Yeah. And bringing that up, I know we haven't done it in a while, but I was looking at Officer Down Memorial page, and last year it was a pretty significant drop, I think, in the amount of law enforcement deaths. This year, so far, we're at 52, and we're what, 4 months into the year? So, I mean, that's a lot, and it also says we're up 6% from last year.
It's not
So
good.
that's not a good trend. And also one thing that I noticed, gunfire is actually down. Like deaths due to gunfire is down by 6%. There's only 16 of those so far this year. The one that is way up, 19%, is auto related. So that just remind like people, if you see somebody pulled over on the side of the road by law enforcement, like make sure you do slow down. Make sure you like move over to the left lane if you can, but just be cognizant of them, because those are the totally preventable accidents.
I've also noticed, like mainly in the Davis area, that and I think also in the Natomas area, their Caltrans is starting to do a lot more work right now. Like getting, doing a lot of stuff that they normally couldn't do because there's so much traffic. They're like, hey, now's our chance to like get this stuff done. So they're clearing like a lot of those oleander bushes in the middle of I-80
The
right there.
medium.
Yeah, right there. They're not cutting them out, but they're trimming them down. And I mean, I've seen so many fires happen right there because the spark will light them up. So I think they're just, clearing them for whatever. But you have a lot of Caltrans workers there, CHP, that usually post up before the construction to make you slow down. Yeah, dude. And like I said before, on a past show, when I go to work in the morning, dude, our freeways are like the Indianapolis 500 right now. Like I got cars past me, like just hauling, dude. I've had cars past me going like 90 before, like, and I'm like, all right, well, that guy's, definitely speeding. But CHP and I think San Juan Capistrano the other day clocked someone going 165 miles per hour on the freeway. I'm like, well, yeah, that's definitely speeding.
Is that what's it called? Bubblegum Rally?
Yeah, Cannonball Run.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, which nice segue, sir.
Yeah.
Good job. So apparently, some people made a world record right now from East Coast to West Coast. They utilized the times, the fact that the freeways were, not shut down, but like have less traffic to set a new world record for the Cannonball Run.
Yeah, that's quite the drive, coast to coast.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember how long it said it took them. They did show their cars in the picture that I saw, and it had like an extended gas tank in the trunk.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, I just wonder, like, cops had to have seen them at some point. Maybe they're just like, man, whatever. I don't know.
The one race that I've talked about with Ryan before, he wants to do at some point. I think it was him that I was talking to, but there's one where you have a limit on how much money you can spend on a car, and then they do a run like that. I don't think it's like across the country, but it's a good distance. But you have like $500 to spend on a car to make this run, and you just go until your car dies. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Is it paved roads, or is it like back roads, or?
It's paved roads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. It's kind of like what my brother-in-law, he came up with this idea. It's kind of fun. He's pretty like savvy when it comes to like just doing fun things on the spot. So he goes, hey, I have an idea. And this, when he did this, I believe it was after I left the county. And so we were kind of like, not in a financially bad place, but just an emotionally bad place, defeat. And he just wanted to like build up our spirits. So he's like, hey, I'm going to give you $20, my wife $20, and my daughter $20. And we're going to go to like a, an auction, like Denio's in Roseville, like a swap meet. and you're to buy the you could either spend it on whatever you want, the coolest thing, for you, or it was like a game. Who had the weirdest thing? And
That'd be kind of fun.
And I can't remember. I think I couldn't find anything, so I think I just pocketed the $20. But there is some weird stuff there, and we did it again last year with the whole family, and it was just we have a time limit too, so meet back here in an hour. And I was trying to find like some weird things, and I forgot how we got on that subject, but I have like a massive headache right now. I'm trying to like go through it. Yeah.
I got one more thing.
Go for it.
I think that's probably about all we'll have time for.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be quick. The NFL draft happened.
Oh yeah, you're taking this one because I did not follow that at all. I know it was done like over Zoom, right?
Yeah, it was all like video conference stuff instead. But the big names that they were talking about were Tua Tagliova, or whatever his name is, quarterback from Alabama, and Oregon's quarterback, Justin Herbert. And they both went in the first round. Tua went, I think he went to the Dolphins, actually.
And someone went to the Bengals, right?
Maybe. I don't know. These are the only two that I really followed.
Oh, okay.
Just because they were the big names that I remember from college football.
Mm-hmm.
But Justin Herbert went to the Chargers. I was a little disappointed. At some point, I want to see somebody from the Ducks. I mean, it was cool when like DeForest Buckner went to the Ducks, but went to the 49ers, but I'm pretty sure the 49ers just traded him. So
yeah, it can't be as frustrating as being like this awesome quarterback in college. Like, all right, you're going to the Bengals. You're like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. But the 49ers did pick up another like defensive lineman, I think, in the first round. And then they picked up a wide receiver. I don't know what happened last night because I was working. I haven't looked at that yet. But yeah. At least some sports things are going on. The sportscasters on the news, they have something to talk about now.
They did. MLB came out and said that they are thinking about having some of a season. Loud noises in my house. I don't know what all that is. So
it's that stupid cat.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's
all I got for today.
That's all I got too. So we want to thank our sponsor, MSR Arms, Ryan at msrarms.com. Go spend that stimulus money and make yourself something real nice.
Yeah.
And then if you like what you hear, please, we haven't really asked this a lot, but rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Just leave a review. And 5-star rating would be awesome. We're trying to put out a lot more content, and it's really difficult right now, not actually seeing you in person, and then having the ability to be in the studio. So we're doing this like you're going to work in a few hours and just woke up. Then, this is it's just essentially we're squeezing it in where we can. But yeah, just like review, leave us a nice little word. And then you can find us on all of our socials, Untapped, Facebook, Instagram, at The Real WTH Show. And we're, try to participate in some of those poll questions we're putting out on Instagram.
We still got giveaways.
Yeah, there might be something in there for you. You may never know. This last one, we got like a little bit more participation, which was nice.
We did.
Keep it up. Good job. And then if you want to call us, if you feel like you want to, you got some interesting things to say, you want to join us on a Zoom call, hey, it's all we got to do is Zoom you in on this call. You can be on the next recording. So just email us at therealwthshow@gmail.com, or you could call us at 916-259-3030. And that's all I got.
And until then,
ladies and the men, Jay.
I will talk to you then, or I'll talk to you another time.
Jobin. Fail.